Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a new trying new makeup. I do this series every single Friday over here on my channel where basically I'm just trying out a bunch of new makeup releases. So to run through what I'm going to be trying this week, I have from Catrice, this is their HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. They just expanded their shade range, so I got in some shades to try out. So I'm going to be testing that one. Also from MAC, the Studio Fix 24 Hour Smooth Wear Concealer. Very excited about that. I have some new face palettes here from Sigma Beauty, which has me pretty pumped up. They are coming out with the Sculpt palette, a highlight and contour palette, and also the blush palette, which is the cheek palette filled with different blushes. I have a highlighter here from Revlon. I have some new eyeshadow palettes from Stilazzi, which have me pretty pumped. These are the Spellbound and also the Stellar palette. I think I'm going to be using the Stellar palette, but I will show you both of them. I do have some new lipsticks here as well from Buxom. I have to pick out a shade. I don't really know what I'm doing with my eye look yet, but these are called the Pillow Pout, the Creamy Plumping Lip Powders from Buxom. And then I also have some of the new brushes from the Jaclyn Morphe collection, so I can try these out and give you guys my thoughts on these, but we have a lot to try out. I also have a new sponge. Let me not forget the sponge that we're trying today. This is the sponge from Sonia Kashuk that a lot of people have been using and talking about, so we got a lot going on. Why don't we go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with my face first like I normally do. Like I said, I have this new sponge here to try out. So again, this is from Sonia Kashuk. I got mine at Target. I did get mine in a set. It came with a little bit smaller sponge than this, and then also like 3 mini sponges that would be good for like under eyes and such. And it was $15. I was really hoping to just find this individually, but they were pretty much sold out of them at Target. And this set that I bought was the last one there. But I've been seeing where people use this marble sponge and saying good things about it, so I wanted to try it out. It is fairly big. This has no water on it yet. It is fairly big, but I'm gonna go ahead and get it damp, and then we'll give it a try. Okay, so this is what the sponge looks like damp. So it did get bigger. It is a fairly large sponge, but hey, I'm gonna try it out. So the foundation I'm gonna be using is, again, this one from Catrice, the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It says it lasts up to 24 hours. It's mattifying and has a second skin effect. So they did send me over a little card here to look at. So it says that it's their #1 selling foundation, and they have just they've just expanded their shade range. So it now comes in 18 different shades, and it does say on there, you know, we know that there's not a shade for everyone yet, but they are like going to continue to expand it, which is good. It's supposed to be high coverage, mattifying with a natural looking finish, ultra lightweight formula, and it is $10.99. It also says you can use the code LIFE in HD for 20% off at catricecosmetics.com. That would not be an affiliate link. I will also have that in my description box. And then you have the different shades here. So they have cool, neutral, and warm undertones, and then they have the different shade ranges. So the one that I picked out for myself was in Hazelnut Beige, and I did actually try this one yesterday, and I thought it looked to be a pretty good shade match for me, and I did like the foundation, so I'm going to go ahead and give it another shot today. So it does have a dropper form on it, like so. So I'm just going to do a couple of drops here. I wouldn't say this is like my favorite way for foundation, but I don't mind it. So I just put some on my sponge like so. I do have my primer on already, and then I'm just going to go ahead and apply. So I'm not always super into like matte full coverage foundations. So when I was reading, you know, kind of the claims on this one, I was like, I don't know. Oh, I also do have a nice visitor reminding me that that time is almost upon us. Stocked my freezer with ice cream just yesterday, actually. But I was like, ooh, you know, I don't know. But even as I was putting it on, I was like, this feels really nice. And I kept looking at my skin all throughout the day, and I was like, I don't think this looks too bad. And what was kind of crazy is I didn't powder my skin yesterday, and I'm not going to powder again today just to kind of see how it goes today also. But I didn't powder my skin, and I felt like I looked not like oily, or even, I don't even know if I would say dewy, but I didn't look super matte even at the end of the day. Like I kind of had a little bit of a glow, if you will. So I thought that that was interesting. So I'm going to try it out a couple of different ways. I'll try it, you know, applying with a brush, try with some powder and all of that. But I actually really liked the coverage on it. I also liked how it felt. It does feel really lightweight on the skin. So I would say that that claim is correct also. But yeah, so far so good. It does have a bit of a scent to it, I noticed, but nothing too overwhelming. And once it's been on my face for a bit, I don't really notice it. Here's what my skin is looking like with the foundation on. We have not really had any sunshine in Iowa for like a while, so I keep having to use a bunch of different lights, but hopefully you can still see okay what it looks like. I don't feel like it looks very cakey. I didn't notice really any issues there. Like my forehead looks good. Sometimes with more mattifying foundations, my forehead can get, like it can emphasize any dry patches. I think it looks pretty good. My nose looks good. I mean, it did a pretty good job covering up my friend here, so I don't know. So far, so far so good. I'm liking the foundation sponge. Again, so far so good. Feels nice and soft on my skin and blended out pretty easily. So yeah, that is what the foundation is looking like. Who has tried this one from Catrice and do you like it? Okay, so for my concealer, I'm going to use this one from MAC. It's the new 24-Hour Studio Fix Concealer. So they just launched this. I believe it's in 34 shades, which is awesome. I have the shade NC30 that I'm going to be trying out. I did also try this one out yesterday, and again, I seem to like it off first bat, so we'll go ahead and try again. So I'm just going to apply this to my under eyes, and I'm going to use some on my eyelid to act as an eye primer. I noticed that this one, it's not dry necessarily, but it's, to me, a first bat when I was applying it, it didn't seem like a super hydrating concealer. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one eye, blend it out, and then the other, especially because when I'm doing makeup on camera, I tend to talk. And I mean, obviously I'm talking to the camera, so sometimes I can like blend for a really long time because I get caught up in like whatever it is I'm saying, and then I'm like, dude, you've been blending your concealer for like 15 minutes, like move on. But it's different applying makeup on camera than it is just with yourself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that just so the concealer doesn't dry too quickly on my under eyes. But so far so good with the concealer. I noticed that it is definitely pretty darn full coverage, but I really liked how it made the under eyes look. I can't say off first bat, I was like, this is gonna be my new favorite concealer. Like sometimes I can just get that vibe right away with concealers. I didn't get that vibe, but I also didn't get like the, oh no, this is no good, I'm not gonna like it vibe either. I just thought that it was pretty decent, and it seemed to hold up pretty well throughout the day. I've been saying in a lot of the videos that my allergies have been super bad. So a lot of times I'm like sneezing and I have watery eyes and all that, but I felt like the concealer held up pretty well yesterday. I did get my allergy injection yesterday. I get an allergy shot in March and also in September because I get spring and fall allergies. So I just got my injection, and that usually does help me out. Today is the best that I have felt so far, but it's still not great. And this morning was a little bit on the rough side. So if you notice my eyes looking, you know, a little crazy or all that, it's just because of my allergies. But I'm really hoping that things are about to be turned around. Hopefully some better times are coming up here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the concealer is blending really well. I felt like it looked nice on the under eyes. Again, I liked the coverage, but I also liked that it feels more lightweight also, just like the foundation. I liked the coverage, but I like that it doesn't feel like I have a ton of makeup on my skin. I don't know if I've ever tried a concealer from MAC. I don't think that I have. So yeah, off the bat, this new one here, I'm really quite liking. Really am liking the sponge also. I'm not running into any issues with it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the Colourpop No Filter setting powder in translucent, and I'm going to use that to set my concealer. My August makeup monthly should already be up. It should be yesterday's video, and I mentioned that this has been my favorite powder for my under eyes at the moment. I think that it is so nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and set the concealer with this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and dust any of that remaining powder away on my face. I'm going to jump into this palette here from Sigma. So this is the Sculpt palette. It's a highlight and contour palette. I was so excited when I opened up this package from Sigma and saw face palettes in here because I love face palettes. I have a mad obsession with them, and when I saw ones from Sigma, I was like, yes, this is the release I have been waiting for, because I do really like Sigma's bronzers and blushes. I have In the Saddle, it's a great bronzer. I have Corda Rosa, it's a blush, and that blush is actually included in this palette, which I think is fantastic. So I was super stoked when I saw this. So this is the highlight contour palette. So you do have a nice mirror in here. You have 6 different shades. So you have your contours on the bottom and then your highlights on the top here. I have used Faking It as my contour shade. I've used Throw Shade as a highlight, and then I've tried Shine On for bronzer shine on for a highlight. I do have a little Instagram tutorial that's already gone up as well using some of these and some other Sigma products, so I'll leave that one listed down below. I was so excited to see these though. Each palette is going to be $39. They're going to be available September 12th, and I do have an affiliate discount code with Sigma if you're ever interested. If you want to try these out, brushes, anything like that, it's just Samantha and you can save some money at Sigma. It is an affiliate code, but I'm just so excited to see this. So first up, I am going to go ahead and contour, and I'm going to use some of these brushes from the Jaclyn Morphe collection. I ended up getting it in PR, which I wasn't expecting. I get some PR from Morphe, I don't get all, and I got it like 3 days or something after it already launched, and usually if I get something from Morphe, I get it before it launches. So I don't know what happened. I saw some other people got it the same day as me, so I don't know if just packages were delayed or if something happened over here or what, but I wasn't expecting it. But I got the full collection, and a lot of people said that you did want to see my thoughts on them, so I've just been trying out a few, and I can kind of give you my thoughts as I go along here, but wanted to include them because people said that they wanted to see them. So this one is the JH05 brush, so I'm just going to use this as my contour, and I'm going to come into faking it, and I'm just going to make this weird face and contour the cheekbones. I noticed right off the bat that the Sigma powders are very pigmented, so you really need to use a light hand, and especially for like a contour, I'll just go in and build it up instead of coming like too much right away. So that's just kind of what I'm doing here. And then for bronzer, I'm going to grab the JH02 brush, which looks like this. I'm going to come into Throw Shade. So this one is a little deeper. I kind of noticed with this one, with the contour shades and then also the highlights, I think that this would be a really good palette for more like medium to like getting into the deeper skin tones. I think if you're really light, you might not be able to use the majority of the shades in here, but you know, personal preference and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and use this brush and go into Throw Shade, and this is one that I noticed. Look at that, it is super pigmented, and I'm just going to take my time and blend it out. This brush I'm not loving, and I wondered if this one would be really similar to the M527, which I've purchased from Morphe in the past, and yeah, I think it is really similar to it. One thing that I noticed just when I was looking over the box and all the brushes that came in is that there were a lot of brushes that kind of reminded me, ooh, too much again, kind of reminded me of other brushes that are already available on the Morphe website. And I noticed like in Jaclyn's video when she was comparing some brushes, she was saying like this is really similar to this brush, or this is like the exact same as this brush, and things like that. So I don't know, if you want me to, I don't know how I would do it, but I do just feel like there's a lot of brushes that are similar to other brushes that are already available on the Morphe website, which are a little bit cheaper than buying these individually or buying like the set of them. So I don't know if you'd want me to do a breakdown like that, or I'm not really sure. But yeah, this one is reminding me of the M527, and I didn't like that brush. I decluttered it, and it's just a little bit more scratchy on the face. Like the brush that I used for contour I didn't mind, but this one I'm not loving. You'll have to let me know if you decided to pick up any brushes from the set, or you picked up any of the collections, because I think there's 3 different collections that were offered. Let me know what you're thinking of them. I did have to let my camera cool down a little bit, so I just went ahead and did my brows with the Maybelline Brow Definer to save some time. I will say I don't really like this brush. I'm not surprised, because once I saw it, it reminded me immediately of the brush that I've had in the past that I decluttered. So I feel like it just made the bronzer look pretty splotchy when I was applying it. So I also tried to take another brush to just kind of smooth it out. And I've used the bronzer out of here like 3 times already, because I've already been loving these palettes, and I've never had an issue with it using my regular brushes. So again, I have the Instagram tutorial if you want to see me apply it with a different brush, but this particular brush, I wouldn't recommend, and I wouldn't recommend the, you know, like the regular one on the Morphe site either. So yeah, just let me know if you want, what you want to see with the brushes, because when I got them and I shared them on my Instagram stories, so many people asked me to review them and all these different things. So you'll just have to let me know what it is that you want to see. But I'm going to come into the blush palette next, the cheek palette. I've used so many different shades in here. So like I said, I do own the Cor de Rosa blush, which is super pretty. I've used Mod Mauve, I've used Pinkin. So I don't know what I'm doing with my eye look yet, so I feel like it's kind of hard to say, but I might just use Cor de Rosa. I'm going to use Cor de Rosa today because I haven't used it out of the palette yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this 04 and go ahead and apply the blush brush. Yeah, I feel like that bronzer just looks super splotchy on my skin now, and I haven't experienced that with this bronzer yet. So I think it's more of the brush that was doing it. I wish more of like the R2 counterpart would have been in the brush set, because the R2 I think is a great brush from Morphe, a great bronzer brush. It's one of my like most used, and I just didn't really love that brush either. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply the blush, looking super pretty. Okay, alrighty, so let's move over to eyes. Let's do that before we do the highlight. I always like to do my highlight last for whatever reason. Okay, so Stilazzi, they came out with 2 new eyeshadow palettes. We have Spellbound and we have Stellar. These are each gonna be $39, and they're also gonna be available on September 12th. So they sent along a little card for me. So this one is Spellbound. So when you open it up, you do have an eyeshadow palette, and then you have all these different shades inside. And when I opened this one, I was like, ooh, that's so pretty, you know, very beautiful. It kind of right off the bat gave me the Born to Run vibes from Urban Decay. But when I opened the Stellar palette, I was like, I want to play with you. So that might be a little bit surprising that I'm going for more of the cool toned palette versus the warm tone. But when I saw this, my eyes just immediately lit up. I was like, this is so pretty. So Stilazzi has been coming out with a lot of new releases recently. I do also have an affiliate code with them. It's just Samantha, once again, I believe, if you want to save any money on their website. They have makeup brushes, they have blush palettes, they have gel eyeliners. They have a lot of different releases also. So everything, of course, will be linked down below. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this palette. I'm going to use another brush from the collection. This is the JH31. So it just looks like a blending brush here. Like this row right here is really calling to me. You can see my peacock leggings. Yes, there we are. Oh, hello, peacock leggings. So that row is really calling to me right now. So I think I'm first going to pick up Crystal Ball right here on this blending brush, and I'm going to put that into my crease. So fun story, the day that you are watching this, Friday, September 7th, is my wedding anniversary. Mitch and I have been married for 5 years now. Quite exciting. So we don't have anything like special planned for our anniversary. We actually have a family wedding tomorrow, so we will be out of town once again attending a family wedding. We've had 3 weddings on his side of the family within like 6 weeks of each other or something just absolutely crazy like that. Really pretty purple shade. And I think I'm just gonna go down the row. I'm just gonna grab this next one here, which is Speak Easy. This one right here. I'm just gonna use the same brush, and I'm gonna apply it just a little bit lower. And then also blend it into the crease. So far these have been really easy to blend also, and that first shade I thought was really nicely pigmented, and I'm not really getting a lot of fallout on my face, which is good. I'm liking this brush. It's like a little bit of like a longer blending brush, but it seems to be doing the job. So I'm kind of curious about this shade on the end, which is called California Girls. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, that's a really interesting shade. It's like a vibrant purple. That's really pretty. I kind of want to use that one. Okay, so I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use the JH41, which is just kind of like a flat shader. I'm going to go in first without dampening my brush and see how it is. I'm just going to apply it towards the middle part of my eye here. Ooh, that is really cool looking. Huh. Hopefully that's coming across on camera, because that looks really... That's a really cool shade in person. I'm so attracted to this palette. I'll go ahead and swatch it all, so I can insert a photo here too, and I'll probably share like swatch photos on Instagram also. But just like the moment I opened up this palette, I was like, yes. It was really speaking to me. I don't even think that you need like a setting spray with this one. It's not like a shimmer, but it has a bit of like a satiny kind of feel to it. So I'm just going to focus out on the inner part of the eye and then kind of more towards the middle here. I'm kind of just more patting it than I am rubbing. But I just think that is so pretty and a more unique shade, if you will. I'm going to take that first blending brush and just make sure everything is nice and blended. Alrighty, so I actually don't have any new mascara to try out this week, so I just went ahead and popped on some lashes. These are from Flutter lashes in Heavenly. This is what the box looks like anyway. I don't think these are like new lashes, but they're newer to me. And I really like them because I feel like they're a little bit more on the natural side, and I don't feel like this look really required over the top lashes, but I'm really loving the way that those shadows look. They're really easy to use, really easy to apply. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I also did put a little bit of liner in my waterline. This is from Urban Decay, one of their 24/7 Glide On pencils in Delinquent. So I'm just gonna finish off the lower lash line still using the Stellar palette. So I'm gonna use this brush, which is the JH40. So I'm also really attracted to these taupe shades too. So I think I'm gonna use Tauped Out first. Sorry, that was my middle finger. That was my bad. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Tauped Out. I'm going to run it on the lower lash line. Normally I'd probably use the same shades that I used up top, but I just kind of wanted to get an idea of some of the other shades too, because I'm really liking the color scheme on this palette. I just feel like it's different from what, you know, we see a lot right now. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of Sandstone. Once again, just admire the peacock leggings. I know. Peacock leggings. So again, I'm just going to take it and kind of run it on the lower lash line. So those are definitely very, very taupey vibes, which I don't mind, but I feel like I might need something a little bit darker too for the lower lash line, just to kind of set it off, because both of those were so light. I feel like it'd be really, gosh, I feel like they'd be really pretty on the eyes though. So I am just going to come in and I'm just going to grab Speakeasy, which was the second shade that we put on, and I feel like this will just kind of help darken it up too. Kind of balance everything together. For my inner corner, I'm going to use the JH39 brush, which looks like this. I think I'm going to dip actually into this one right here, which is called California Dreamin', and just kind of apply this really light pinky shade to the inner part of the eye. It's not a shimmer, but it'll just kind of lighten it up, and that is really pretty. Dang. I'm just like feeling really inspired by this eyeshadow palette right now. I want to put all these different shades on my eyes, which is awesome because I don't always feel that way. I definitely don't always feel that way. Okay, so eyes are done, loving them. I'm gonna move on and highlight. This is from Revlon, and this is their Glitz Bomb highlighter. So this is what it looks like. It does have that little like flip up here where you have a mirror on the other side and then one of those brushes, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this brush. This is the JH07. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and swatch the highlight first, just kind of see what we're working with here. Okay, so it feels a little bit on the powdery side, but it looks like it could be a pretty nice highlight here. So Revlon is coming out with a bunch of new releases right now. I just got quite a few packages from them, so I really wanted to grab something, and of course I love to try highlights, so that's what we're gonna go ahead and try here. Oh yeah, it is really powdery. I just got highlight all over the peacock leggings. So sorry, peacock, I didn't mean to do that to you. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight the tops of my cheekbones here. Eek. Okay, so it looks to have like, it's a bit on like the peachy side, like the peachy gold, peachy champagne highlight, but I don't know if you can see that when I like tap my brush into it. There's so much product going on to my pants, but I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of product on my face. Like it's a little bit more on the subtle side, so I don't know about this one. I mean, it looks pretty on my skin, and I don't notice it like emphasizing a lot of texture or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just getting a lot of fallout on the poor peacock leggings. I feel like people are now going to be asking me where I got my peacock leggings from. I'm going to go ahead and look at the tag. If you guys didn't know, I used to have a yoga Instagram page because I love yoga. I still practice yoga daily, but it was a really good way for me to get into yoga, learn yoga. They had different like yoga challenges that you could join and things like that, and like you could win prizes, such as like there would be sponsors for the yoga challenges that you would do. I eventually went on to like run the challenges as well, like come up with the different poses for each day, and you would have sponsors and they would donate prizes to people who participated, and whoever posted a pose, you know, every single day could be entered to win. So I won a bunch of clothes that way, or like I would work with the different clothing brands and they would send me items to be able to promote on my Instagram. It's really no different than like a lot of what happens in the beauty community, getting things for PR to show them. It was the same way in like the yoga community as well. but I have all these like fun prints of yoga leggings because that was like, you know, it made for some eye-catching photos over on Instagram, that's for sure. Okay, so I just looked over my peacock leggings. These are from Lineage Wear, so I will try to find the website and link it down below in case you're wondering about the peacock leggings. But okay, so that is what the highlight looks like. So it took me a little bit to build it up, but I think it's really pretty. But I just noticed it was super powdery and I got so much on the poor leggings when I was using the highlight, but I think it looks nice. It's not super glittery. And it doesn't show a ton of texture on my skin, so I think it's still a pretty highlight. I just went ahead and sprayed my face with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and then I'm going to move on to the final step, which is my lip product. So I got a bunch of shades in from Buxom of their new Pillow Pout Creamy Plumping Lip Powders. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple swatches here and then choose which one to put on my lips. This is what the packaging looks like on them, and then when you open it up you kind of twist it off here, and then it has this kind of like spongy applicator, and then the product is actually inside the cap, so when you put this on and twist it, then that's how you're getting product on here. So very interesting. It's supposed to be more of like a blotted lip look, I believe, from what I'm understanding. So this one here is in Darling Dolly, and I feel like I am going to like these. I feel like I'm gonna like the look of them. So there is Darling Dolly. This next one here is called Cozy Up, which I really do like that nude. They feel really like soft as I'm swatching them, and they like appear really smooth as well, so that's nice. The next one that I'm swatching here is called So Spicy. So again, that one is just a bit of a deeper nude. The next one that I have is called Soft Whisper. Ooh, I really like Soft Whisper. I really like all of these actually. So that one there is Soft Whisper. I'm gonna go ahead and do Soft Whisper because I just immediately was like, ooh, I like that one. So I'm noticing that you kind of do have to build them up, and especially, I mean, this one was the lightest nude that I chose out, so maybe that's having to do it too, but I keep having to put it back in the cap and then apply. So that might get annoying at times. You might not have that with the deeper colors, but especially with the lighter nudes, you might have that. And I can definitely notice there's already like a tingling going on to give you that plumping effect that Buxom is kind of known for within their lip products. It's definitely a really natural looking lipstick. It doesn't feel too powdery on the lips when I apply it. I can kind of notice it now that I'm pressing my lips together, but when I'm actually applying it, it doesn't feel too powdery. It is pretty easy to apply, minus like you keep having to dip back into the cap, but I think it looks really, really natural looking. So I will be really interested to test out kind of the longevity of these and see which ones will be my favorite shades. But this one is in Soft Whisper from Buxom, and then after that, that is going to do it for today's video. Alrighty, so this is the final makeup look that I came up with for this week's Trying New Makeup. As always, I'll run through everything that I tried quickly. The Catrice foundation, so far I'm actually really liking it. For mattifying, I actually do agree with more of like the second skin effect. It feels really lightweight. I still like the coverage on it. So far this is looking pretty good in my eyes. Same with the MAC concealer. I can't say right off the bat that it's going to be a new holy grail, but I still like it. They have several different shades in there, which I think is absolutely fantastic. And if you're looking for a nice, like good coverage, but still not too cakey concealer, I think this one is going to do the job really well. For the face palettes from Sigma, I am so impressed with these. I'm so excited to see these new releases. These have me pretty pumped up. I have a feeling these are going to be favorites of mine. I started using them the day that I got them in, and I really haven't put them down. So I really, really like these, and I'm very excited to have them. The eyeshadows from Stilazzi, so the Stellar palette has me pumped. I love the eye look. I love how easy it was to create. I love the shades in here. I am so inspired to play with this. If you'd like to see another like Instagram tutorial with this one, let me know. But so far right off the bat, I'm really impressed with it. Or if you'd want to see a tutorial instead with the other palette over here, the Spellbound palette, let me know. But I'm just so attracted to the Stellar palette. But so far, quality wise on these, really impressed with. The Revlon highlight, still like it. I still like the final effect that it gave my skin, but it just was super, super powdery, and I'm glad that I didn't do this over like closer to my laptop, because I would have gotten so much powder on my laptop. So really the only thing, and I noticed right when I started swatching it too, was that it's super powdery. You get a lot of kick up with it, but the actual result, I feel like it still looks like a really, really nice highlight. So that's the only con with the Revlon highlight, but other than that, I like the finish effect that it gave to the skin. So for the Jaclyn Hill brushes, there's still going to be some that I would recommend. There's going to be some that I would skip over, like this bronzer brush. Like I still just don't like this one, you know, but some of like the eye brushes, I don't mind. I really like this contour brush though, and I haven't tried anything like that from Morphe. I don't think the 05, I did like that brush. Flutter lashes, I'm really liking these. I feel like they're really nice and natural and they look really good. The sponge from Sonia Kashuk, I really like. I actually like that it's a little bit bigger. I felt like it was kind of quicker to fill everything in, and I didn't have any issues with it. I think that my skin looks really nice. The foundation, the concealer, the powder, all looking pretty good. And then these lip products here from Buxom. I can't say that I'm loving the shade that I chose out. I feel like it's almost a little bit too light for this look, especially because of how natural looking the lipsticks are. So I'm gonna film another video. I'm gonna film Sunday's video next, and I might actually change up the lip color, and then that way I can try another lip color as well and see what it looks like. But I like how they applied. Only issue is that it might take some time because of the whole cap issue, but I like the way that it's feeling right now. Of course, I'll come back in a couple weeks and give my full reviews on everything that I tried out, but so far so good for the lipstick. But that is going to be everything for today's trying new makeup. You'll have to let me know what you thought of everything that I tested out down below. And as always, if you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go. I post every day except for Saturday, so I'll catch you guys in Sunday's video. Bye.